This is the new Porsche 911 Turbo S, and apparently it's even quicker than the old Turbo S, which was actually one of the fastest cars I've ever driven. Oh, I've got him. So in this video, I'm going to be putting this car through various performance tests to see just how quick it really is, as well as giving it a general all-round reviewing as well. Let's start off by talking about the engine, and this is the closest you can get to it because it's under there, slung out over the rear axle. It's a 3.7 litre twin-turbo flat six with 650 horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque. That's 70 horsepower more and 50 newton meters more than the old Turbo S had. And it drives all four wheels via an 8-speed PDK dual-clutch automatic gearbox with launch control. Porsche says this car can do 0 to 60 in just 2.7 seconds, which is 0.2 of a second quicker than the old 911 Turbo S. I'll put my glasses on so I can make doubly sure that I can see where I'm going because it's that quick. But I want to test out their claims, so I've got my new specialist timing gear right here. I'm going to launch this car. It's quite easy to do. You just put the car into Sports Plus mode, then drive for the gearbox and floor the brake, floor the throttle, and we should be good to go. There we are now. Let's do it. Crikey. Oh, bang on. 2.6 seconds. 2.63 to be precise. Let's give it another go because the tyres were cold. It was scrabbling for grip. Let's see if we can do better. That was a bit more brutal, though stability came in. Got a quicker one. 2.61. Let's go quicker because the stability did cut in. Whoa, what am I looking down there? I think that's it. 2.55, everyone. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. Hey! Thankfully, Porsche has given the Turbo S brakes to match its performance. So as standard, you get carbon ceramics, and they're absolutely huge. So at the back, you have 390mm discs gripped by 4 piston calipers. So that's bigger brakes than you get on most cars. At the front, they're actually 420mm discs gripped by 10 piston calipers. They should be strong. Now let's see just how good these brakes really are. So I'm going to do a brake test from 70 miles an hour. When I reach the line down cone, full emergency stop. The cone after it is 50 meters away, so I want to stop before that, ideally quite a bit before that, but we shall see. And I'll check the distance exactly using my new specialist timing gear once again. So let's do it. May as well launch it while I'm at it, eh? Let's get to 70 as quick as we can. There it is. Right, 70, come on. Whoa, that is insane. That is definitely the shortest distance I've ever stopped while filming here. Let's see what the specialist timing gear says. What's the actual number? So it stopped from 70 miles an hour in just 39 meters. That's the best I've had yet. It really is. Compared to the normal Carrera 4S, the Turbo S's track, which is the distance between the wheels across an axle, is 43mm wider at the back, but here at the front, for some reason, it's 6mm narrower. There's Porsche torque vectoring as standard, so that's effectively an electronically controlled limited slip differential at the back here. And what it does is send power to the rear wheel with the most grip to help slingshot you out of corners. The Turbo S has retuned sport suspension. It comes as standard with adaptive dampers, so you can choose between a firmer and a softer setting. You can also upgrade the car, which this one has, to the optional sport suspension upgrade, which basically just lowers it by 10mm. When you're driving along normally, the car's all-wheel drive system basically sends all of the power to the rear wheels. Then when you need some extra grip at the front, it can send 500 newton meters of torque to the front wheels to help pull you out of trouble. The car is fitted with dynamic engine mounts, so when you're just driving along normally, they're kind of fairly loose and relaxed and chilled, so you don't get too many vibrations entering the cabin. But then when you go around a corner, they tighten up to stop the engine moving about all over the place to keep the car nice and precise. There's also active anti-roll bars, which sort of do a similar job with the suspension. So when you're just driving along in a straight line, they're all relaxed and chilled, so it doesn't feel too bumpy. But then when you go around a corner, they kind of like prop the car up and stop it leaning so much, so it's all nice and precise. Again, more precise. It's all about being precise, this car, and then chilled when you need it to be. Another thing you get as standard on the Turbo S is rear wheel steering. So when you're going at low speeds, the back wheels turn in the opposite direction to the front wheels, a bit like on a forklift truck, to aid low speed manoeuvrability. Then when you're going faster, they actually turn in the same direction of the front wheels to aid high speed stability. Interestingly, the rear wheel steering system fitted to the Turbo S responds 6% quicker big wow, then that you can fit optionally to the normal 911. The Turbo S also comes as standard with the new CAT system over there. You can see it operating in the background. See, what you use that for is to prevent any kind of like mice in your garage which could gnaw away at the car's wiring or anything like that. So the CAT system, very, very good. Unfortunately, it's quite expensive if you just have it fitted to the normal 911s, but with the Turbo S you get it as standard. Okay, let's see what this thing is like on a twisty road. So I've got the car in Sports Plus mode and manual mode for the gearbox, and my God, this gearbox is quick. That's nice, sharp steering. I feel the stability control helping me out a bit there, but the car's quite adjustable when you lift off. A bit more than I was expecting, but the grip is insane and the body control is great as well. It just stays nice and flat. Whoa, that's some air there. And it's like flying without wings. That's loads of air. Weight just like holds on, grips. Bit of understeer when you push too hard, but you let off and it just, that's it, comes back round. Rear engine car, supposedly unbalanced, yet the balance is incredible. I thought the Turbo was supposed to be the least fun of the 911s, but that was a lot of fun. It's got my heart racing, but not in a way like I'm scared. I reckon my mum could drive this thing quickly. Oh, what a start! Go! It's safe, it's secure, it helps you out. But yeah, put a smile on your face and you'll get to your destination in one piece, no problem at all. It's Porsche, isn't it? The stability control should go all the way off. Now, despite being four-wheel drive, it should be able to send 100% of the power to the rear wheels, like I said earlier. So let's see if it'll slide, shall we? Oh, definitely will. I can feel the power going to the front when it starts to slide a bit too much. But it will do what you want it to do. It's really good and controllable. I think that's enough of this. There we go, let's calm down. Yeah, it slides. The Turbo has a redesigned front bumper compared to the normal 911. All the vents obviously are real. It's a Porsche, they don't do fake vents on Porsches. And it's got these little upturned fins here, which are kind of like the car's turned up its collar to go, hey, yeah, what's your problem, mate? Make it look more aggressive, though it still doesn't look as aggressive as the old GT2 RS. The Turbo S has 20-inch alloy wheels at the front and 21 inches at the back. And it has those racing style centre locking nuts as well, which are pretty cool. Also, you might notice this, look, there's this extra side skirt here which kicks out towards the rear, and the obligatory turbo air scoops that are real again. Wait a minute, what's in there? Jeez, come on. Help! Yeah! No, I'm just joking. Here at the back, the Turbo S's body is actually 8mm wider, just that much, across its rear haunches to give it a bit more presence. Also, the spoiler is visible rather than the pop-out version you get on the normal Carreras, though this does pop up further when you're going faster at speed. It also has a visible horizontal brake light rather than the vertical ones, which are worked into the engine cover on the normal car. The rear bumper is reworked as well, so you've got some bigger air vents at the side, and you've got your Turbo S badging there. Also, the number plate has been moved from there on the normal car to here. Reason being, there's some more vents here which feed air for the engine. I actually prefer the location of that number plate than having it lower down, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments box below. Here on the inside, the Turbo S's cabin is pretty much identical to the normal 911s. So you've got a really nicely laid out, sporty feeling, high quality cabin with a brilliant driving position. The central infotainment system is pretty decent, and you've got one analog dial in the middle for the rev counter, flanked by two little digital screens each side, which is pretty cool. But on the Turbo S, you have a little picture of the actual Turbo S car there with its protruding rear wing and wider haunches, and it says 911 Turbo S on here as well as on the central rev counter. And you also have 911 Turbo S on the aluminium sill plates. The steering wheel also has a dead ahead marker as well, and the Turbo S gets the upgraded extended leather, so you get leather on the dash and on the doors, and you get extra silver trim on the door handles and down the sides of the doors. You also get 18-way electrical sport seats. Oh yeah, lots of adjustment that is, instead of the normal 4-way electrical adjustment of the standard car. And it also has Turbo S embossed on the headrest, and that's pretty much your lot. Oh, apart from this, you also get Sports Chrono as standard on the Turbo S, which includes this drive mode selector on the steering wheel, which is nice and handy. Here in the back, the Turbo S is just like any other 911, so it's not particularly pleasant for children, and it's bordering on medieval torture for adults. Now, if you need to carry some things instead of people, you can fold down this back seat if you need to squeeze in some unusually shaped objects. As with all 911s, you get a front boot, though for some reason the Turbo S's capacity is 128 litres, whereas the Carrera 4S has 132 litres. What did they do with those 4 litres? Where'd they put them? I don't know. Still, the capacity is greater here in the front boot than the front boot you get on an Audi R8. Now then, it's time for the Car Wow 5 annoying things about this car. Most new cars are lighter than the cars they replace, but not here. You see, the Porsche 911 Turbo S is 40 kilos heavier than the old one. It weighs in at 1,640 kilos, so it's porker by name and porker by nature. Ooh. Porsche says this car should be able to return 23 miles per gallon, but over the past 416 miles, this one has done 15.5 miles per gallon, which is about the same kind of economy I get at my big old AMG G63. On this plaque, Porsche says this car has a 3.8 litre engine, but that's a lie. It's actually, like I said at the beginning, a 3.7 litre. It's a 3.745 litre engine to be precise, which you should round down. However, the Germans just have a habit of rounding everything up regardless. Maybe that's why their economy is better than ours. If you want this car to sound as good as it can, then you need to upgrade to the sports exhaust, and it's a £2,180 option when really it should be standard on a car at this price. Now, normally the car sounds like this. When you press the button, it opens a valve in the exhaust, and then it sounds like this. Which really is the sound it should make in the first place. There's no spare wheel in this car, instead you have to use tyre sealant goo. Thing is though, that's actually on the options list. Now, it only costs £42, which is a trifling matter to someone who can afford a car such as this. But what happens if you forget to select it, which you may well do, because you just assume that it was standard? Then you're going to get a puncture and you're going to be left stranded because you don't have this. Don't worry, there's still plenty to like about this car. Here's the Car Wow 5 cool features. The 8-speed automatic gearbox has a longer final gear compared to the Carrera 4S, which means that its top speed is 15 miles an hour higher at 205 miles an hour. As well as the extendable rear spoiler, there's also an extendable front splitter. And when you combine all those aerodynamic add-ons, you get from them a maximum of 100 kilograms of combined downforce. Unlike the turbochargers on the old Turbo S, which spun the same way, the ones on the new Turbo S spin the opposite way, which helps improve the airflow into the engine for quicker responses. The stitching pattern on the seats and the doors mimics that of the original 911 Turbo, the 930 from the 70s. If you're worried about scraping your car's nose on speed bumps and stuff like that, don't worry, you can pay £1,700 for a front axle lift. There, raise it up a bit. One of the great things about the Porsche 911 Turbo is that it's so easy to live with every day. When you're just driving around town, put it in normal mode, the controls are just nice and light, the gearbox is good, visibility is actually really good. It's good for a normal car. It's brilliant for like something with this much performance. You can just chill. You know, I need 50 and then you suddenly need to overtake someone, floor it, gearbox kicks down and that's wheel spin then in God knows what gear, that's 100. Oh, whoa. And then it just wakes up again and it's utterly barking mad. Actually, let's see what the in-gear acceleration is like from 40 miles an hour in 4th gear. Bit of turbo lag, now it's on boost and it's just flying, and that's 100. Now you might see a speed sign saying 70, don't worry, this is a closed road, you can do 100, and this thing can do 100, like, no problem. Let's put it back into just relaxing automatic mode and chill a bit. Now I am chilling, I do notice 2 problems with the car. Those back tyres, they're so huge, you get so much road noise from them. It's 50 miles an hour and it's quite annoying. And when you get a bit quicker, I can just hear the wind whistling through there a little bit. The standout feature though is the suspension. When it's just in normal mode, it's absolutely fine over bumps. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's have some more fun again. Let's go Sport Plus, manual mode for the gearbox. Here we go. Well, you really can be a complete moron with it. And it won't kill you. Well, it just holds on in the bends, running a bit wide with understeer, lift off, comes back round, no problem, all safe and sound. Jobs are good and I'm pleased with that. Like this very much. Finally, let's talk about the price. So the Porsche 911 Turbo S starts from £156,000 and as standard you get Porsche Matrix LED headlights, a reversing camera, which believe it or not isn't standard on the normal 911, an upgraded Bose stereo and metallic paint. Yes, you get that standard, not just a flat colour, which is good. This car does have a few options fitted to it, such as night vision and that sports exhaust and blah, 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 blah. As a result, this one costs £167,000, which is quite a lot of money. So then, what's my final verdict on the Porsche 911 Turbo S? Should you avoid it? Should you? I've sold all that. You should just go right ahead and buy it. If you can afford it, just buy it. Buy it, or lease it, or buy it. Just get one. It's great. I like to think I'm a cat whisperer. Clearly not. But it's not run off completely. Come on, Porsche AT, get back in the frunk. Come on, back in the frunk. Oi. I'll have to get that later. That's the problem with it. I think there might be a recall about that because it sometimes just runs off, but I'm sure they'll fix that maybe for the facelift.